Hey guys, it's Varun Shah back at the No Community channel. This is going to be the first video not focusing on video game related content. We're going to be focusing on digital movies. A lot of the industry these days are moving towards pushing stuff digital, and we may see in our lifetime a situation in which the only way to view new films and TV shows is going to be through a digital medium. So a lot of us would like to get a jump start and get into a digital media library, or some of us just like it for the convenience when we're traveling, or we just like it because it's easier and simpler than having a shelf full of DVDs and films. Now here I'm going to be focusing on distributors which you can buy your content to keep, not like Netflix and Hulu where you're paying to just stream the content. You don't really own a license or a copy, you're just paying to access their library. These four companies here are offering you the ability to buy this film or TV show and store them on your device, watch them at will, and that it's technically yours, but it's really a license no matter which way you look at it. But so I'm going to explain to you the pros and cons of each of them, and I want you guys to decide which is the best for you. To start off, I'm going to go with iTunes, the most common one that you probably all know. iTunes is available on all iOS devices and both PC and Mac. It's the most common one that you probably have heard about. You may even already get your music from here, and obviously your other apps and other content. So this may be a company that you know of, Apple obviously. You know they're going to have fantastic playback quality, great integration for all Apple devices, and you can even locate the downloaded videos if you want to move them around in your computer to an external hard drive or whatever. And of course, with Apple, it's a stable backend. You don't have to worry about the system going down or the videos going offline, and so on and so forth. Now, of course, there are some cons. It's only available on Apple devices or PC. And it's not 1080p unless you're using an HDCP compliant. And even then, for instance, in my case, I have an HDCP compliant monitor. Apple doesn't always register your HDCP devices the same. You only have family sharing, so you have to be linked in a family account in order to share your content. And there is no simultaneous viewing. You can't both be watching the same movie at the same time. It will kick one of you off. And just a couple of last thoughts. It is a fantastic for people who own Apple devices. Like I said, the integration is great for Apple TV, for iPad, for iPhones and iPods. You get your content. It's always great quality, and you don't have to worry usually about buffering. You're usually getting, if you have a solid internet, you're getting a quick playback, and you're getting great quality every time you're watching. Next up, we have Amazon Instant or Amazon Prime Instant Video. So you've seen this if you've got a Prime account. They have great playback quality. They have great integration for the devices they support. You can see a list of those right there. Those are a ton of devices they support. Amazon is a well-known company, so you know they're going to have a stable backend. And if you have Amazon Prime, you also get a bunch of these free titles besides the one that you're purchasing at your own whim. The only downsides I see are it auto sets the playback quality. You can't really say, hey, I want to watch this in HD or like 1080p or 720p. It just gives you, based on your internet speed, the best quality it thinks you can handle, and then it'll buffer it up or buffer it down depending on your speed. You can only download select Amazon Prime titles onto your Fire devices. If you own the content, you can download it on any device and view it. But if you're trying to get those free titles, you can only use it on a Fire device. Along with that, there is no sharing of content unless you're a family, and it's generally only your Prime content. You can't really share your purchased content. There's also no simultaneous viewing, so you guys can't be viewing the same title at the same time. The next service is mainly used by Android users. It's Google Play. You may be getting your music and your apps from there, but you may not be getting your movies from there. They have very good playback quality. There's great integration on all the devices it supports, which are mainly mobile devices. Downloadable content, stable Google backend. And then if you're viewing it on a PC and certain Android devices, when you pause the film, there are these neat little background information stuff you can get. You can get the music playing in the background. You can click on the actors' faces, see their IMDb pages, just get some cool info about them. And playback is also supported for Google Play titles on YouTube. So you can log into your same Google Play account on YouTube, go and search for that film, click on it, and instead of having to buy it, which sometimes they have those, you can just play it straight in YouTube. The great thing about that is there are YouTube apps on the PS3, the Wii, and Xbox 360 and Xbox One, so those titles are still viewable on game consoles as well, and they support most media players as well. The cons, of course, are no discrete downloaded files, so when you download it, you don't really know where it is, it's just on your device. Content is not really shareable, so you can't have a family or friends sharing of your movies and shows. There's no discrete quality settings, so you can't really say, hey, play this in HD, play this in SD, unless you're playing it on a computer. So that can be PC or Mac. You can, even if you're viewing it on YouTube, you can say, hey, HD, SD. You can do that, again, only in YouTube. And finally, we have Voodoo and the ultraviolet locker system. If you have any familiarity with the ultraviolet system, it is a digital locker that connects to multiple video services, including Walmart's Voodoo, Best Buy Cinema Now, and Flixster, owned by Warner Brothers service. Each of these services connects to your ultraviolet locker, and all titles in that locker are viewable. Most people in the United States use Voodoo because it gives you the best playback quality. It provides a disc-to-digital service, which means you can take your existing Blu-ray or DVD collection, pay a small fee, so it's $2 for Blu-rays, $5 for DVDs to convert them into HD ultraviolet copies, which you can view. You have great integration to all your devices. It's everything there for iPad, game consoles, everything. Downloadable content, everything is downloadable. Stable backend, it's run by Walmart. UV titles are backed up again to those multiple services. So like for instance, let's just say in the off chance Voodoo goes down, you can still go to Cinema Now or Flixster to view those titles. Even if one of them's down, the other two are always available. UV titles are backed up again on multiple services, so that's the big thing. Easy family and friend sharing. Voodoo has a built-in option, so you can just say, hey, I want to share this with my buddy Jeff, and you can send it to him. Selectable quality on most devices, so when you're viewing on your PC or you're viewing on your game console, you can say, hey, I want HDX, which is the equivalent of 1080p, or I want HD, which is equivalent of 720p, so you can decide what quality you want. And there is also simultaneous viewing is supported, so you can both be viewing the same title at the same time, even if you're both on the same account. Cons, of course, there are some. Mobile quality does vary. Sometimes the apps are better for Cinema Now and Flixster versus the Voodoo app. There's no discrete downloadable, so you don't have a file that you can locate and say, hey, this is my downloaded file. The device integration varies. I would argue that Cinema Now is pretty good on mobile. Not all titles on these services are ultraviolet enabled, so that means if you purchase them out of your pocket, they may not show up on Cinema Now and Flixster, but they will show up on that service. So a lot of titles are Voodoo only or Cinema Now only. You'll be able to know because you'll see the little UV logo, the black and purple one next to the title, to tell you whether it's ultraviolet enabled or not. So now I've shared with you the 4 big services for purchasing and using digital movies and TV shows. When purchasing Blu-rays these days, a lot of movie studios will provide a digital download code. It also happens with certain TV shows. Now, those requirements are also set by the studios in terms of which service they will support. Sometimes it's multiple, sometimes it's neither. It depends again on the studio, and sometimes there's no code at all. A lot of producers and studios support ultraviolet and iTunes. Some only support ultraviolet. There are even studios who let you pick out of the 4. So you could pick Amazon, you could pick Google, you could pick iTunes, you could pick ultraviolet, Voodoo, what have you, and you could have your titles there. Some of them will let you use multiple redemptions, meaning you can have it both on Voodoo and iTunes. It varies by the service. Disney has a unique system where you can redeem it on iTunes, and if you have a Disney account, which is similar to the ultraviolet system, except it's not ultraviolet, if your content is on iTunes, it can be shared on Voodoo. If your content is on Voodoo, it's shareable on iTunes, and vice versa. I hope this video was informative and that you're a little bit more knowledgeable about the video services available, and maybe you'll consider using one or trying one out. A lot of these guys have free pilots during the fall season, so you can test out the same pilot on Voodoo, iTunes, Amazon, and you can just get a sense of quality, playback. You can test them on your devices, see which one's easier for you to use. Again, each person is different, each person's expectations are different, so I don't want to tell you which one you should be using. I gave this information to you because I've used all 4 services. I know what their limitations are. I've tried them all out, and I just wanted to share that with you so you guys can know and be a smarter user when it comes to finding where you want to shop. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to try out my other video, you can click here. Deals of the week will of course be back on Monday. I hope you guys are enjoying this kind of stuff I'm making. This is my first test content outside of video games. I hope you like it. Please leave feedback. I always appreciate feedback. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.